Okay, so it's that time of week again. Time for us to react to Chainsaw Man chapter 77, titled Ring Ring Ring. But before we jump into this week's chapter, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. Also, next week, Saturday, July 17th, Friday, July 17th, Ghost of Tsushima is going to come out on the PlayStation 4, and because I'm so hyped for this game, I'm going to be streaming it over on Twitch, but also on this YouTube channel. So it'll be really cool if you check me out. You can either see it on YouTube or on Twitch. The first time I'm playing it, it's going to be 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time when the game comes out, like actually launches. I just want to be able to play it, and I would really appreciate if you guys come over and watch it with me and watch me play it. So yeah, with no further ado, let's jump into this week's chapter. Someone's knocking at the door, but the phone starts to ring in their apartment. And Denji, being in the messed up mind space that he is, from seeing like the door and his like inner subconscious telling him don't open the door, he, instead of opening the door, he goes towards the phone. Denji answers the phone and it's Makima, and she's like, "Oh, you didn't see the news?" Like, no. Of course Denji and Power are asleep. She's just like, "Okay, I'll keep it short." And I'm just like, this just has like a horror story vibe. Like, you ever see a movie, a horror movie, where like no one knows the world's about to end, and then you just zoom in on the family, like in the suburbs, and like they get a phone call, like, run. This is what this feels like. I was right. Not only was I right, someone in my comments had this exact same idea. So let me explain. Makima explains to Denji that the Gun Devil appeared and that she wasn't able to 100% kill it, which I thought she was going to kill the Gun Devil completely, like wipe it out, like this portion of it at least. And she explains that it took over a dead body. The gun fiend is ringing the doorbell to their apartment. I have goosebumps right now. This is insane. I'm actually scared. I am actually scared for this chapter because I feel like this is the end. I feel like the Chainsaw Man could end in like the next 3 chapters, and I don't want that to happen. I feel like that because Denji's like trying to make jokes like, "Oh, you're so funny, Makima-san." Of course he's not here, and like she doesn't say anything. She doesn't respond to that, and Denji's like, "Makima?" And then he's just like, okay, just leave it to me, you know, I'll handle it, you know, I'm a lucky guy, I can do it. And Makima's just like, "Denji, whatever you do, don't think about anything, just fight." Power being the I don't want to call her Power stupid, because I like Power. Power being the girl she is, she's like, "I'm gonna go open up the door. What are you talking about? It's probably Aki." And as soon as she looks at the door and says, "Is that you, Aki?" the ringing stops. And like, we just go through a few pages and panels of like silence. Like, how can you portray silence so well in a manga? Not an anime, a manga. The multiple pairs of shoes in front of the door. You see the 3 dishes, like the nicely folded clothes. We see that these 3 were a family, and that family is about to freaking end. Denji, being the smart kid, like, he's actually understands like the situation he is in right now is like, "Power, take Nyoko, the cat, and run to the balcony." And Power just looks like him like, "What?" And Denji's being serious for once in his life, and she's like, "Okay, I'll go." As Power goes to the veranda or the balcony, Denji goes to the door, and he's like, "No way the Gun Devil would ever fucking come here. That just doesn't make any sense." Of course Makima's just making a joke. And he says that as he opens the door, and he's like, "Isn't that right, Aki?" And we see the fucking gun fiend, which definitely is Aki. Honestly, it looks like Aki. Aki is like, has to be like a good 7 feet tall now. He has a gun barrel pointing straight out of his head, and some type of assault rifle as a left arm. So he takes some characteristics from the Gun Devils for sure. And Denji just looks up and like, this can't be real, right? He's still joking like, I'm just dreaming, man. I'm just dreaming. And he's like, okay, this is real. So should we fight? And like nothing's happening. They're just looking at each other until he lifts the gun on his arm up and says, Denji. And then we see younger Aki, child Aki, back in the winter village he grew up in. And he has a stone ball in his hand. He throws it at Denji. So this must be what our Aki, our current Aki, is thinking, because he throws a snowball at Denji, and Denji gets shot across the fucking apartment, destroying the apartment, shooting him out the freaking window across the balcony. Just as he fucking does this, Denji, as soon as he hits the ground, he pulls his ripcord because he just got shot in half. Like literally, his organs and entrails are coming out the bottom half of his torso. And Power sees this like, my home, like, Denji, what's going on? And Denji's like, it's the gun fiend. But Power is just like, that's not possible, man. I could smell who was behind that door, and it was Aki. And Denji's just like, he's not hearing it. He's not here for that shit. He's like, don't lie to me right now, Power. That's not Aki. The gun fiend jumps out the apartment and starts hailing bullets on them. And that's when we get to the last page, and we just have Denji in his chainsaw form protecting Power as the gun fiend has the assault rifle pointed straight at Power. And that's the end of the chapter. I have nothing to say to this. I have nothing to say to this because I wasn't expecting this. Like, I posted a video. The last video I posted was like, was kind of a clickbait title, like, will Chainsaw Man end soon? It was kind of just like a all-around extra information about the last chapter, chapter 76 of Chainsaw Man, since we got so much information from it. And in the comments, someone said like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if like Aki became a fiend, a hybrid? Well, more of a hybrid, less of a fiend. And I remember being like, yeah, that would be cool, you know, that'd be cool. But like, I am speechless because I didn't expect this. So yeah, that's chapter 77 Chainsaw Man. Leave your reactions down below because this shit's insane. Check me out next week, next Friday night, next Thursday night, for the Ghost of Tsushima stream. And yeah, have a good one. Peace.